Hey, welcome to our channel. This is David. This is RV Wagon Tales, and we talk about our travels with our two pups, Denver and Annie, who, as you can see, are having a great time looking out of the covered wagon. But today's video is about full-time RVing, and not if you should or if you shouldn't, or is one better than the other, like is full-time better than part-time versus weekend warriors. But it's just some statistics I kind of gathered. And again, I am not a professional interviewer or a statistician, somebody that gathers information. I'm not a professional. But it was just something that was kind of curious, and I thought I would make a quick video about it. So I sent these questions. I have 10 questions. I sent them to 10 very popular RV channels. We probably all have seen them. 3 got back with me, and I guess they are busy. And I understand they are. They're probably just really busy. But I think they're just afraid of our little channel here. Just saying. So we sent it to RV channels, and then I also sent these questions to some Facebook groups that are around. You know, it's all about full-time RV living. So let's get to it. But before I do, if you like this video, at the end, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing. All right, here we go. So I have a total of 10 questions, and there are a few sub-questions. I think we end up with like 12 or 13 total questions. All right, so how long have you been full-time? Well, if you look, the options I gave were less than a year, which is 45%. That's what's shown up, 45% for less than a year. 27% is 1 to 3 years, and 28% is 3 years or more. And I kind of found this interesting because I would have thought there would have been more people, quote, full-time living, and this is just about, almost 50-50 basically. So less than a year. And I'm not going to sit here and just read slides to you. I mean, I could just hand this out to you. But we are going to go over it just a little bit. All right. Did you sell your home? And it's about 50-50. So 54% said yes, they sold their home. If you did not, and this is one of the sub-questions, if you did not sell your home, how do you use it, basically? So 45% say they go back home on occasion. Okay, 45% go home on occasion. 44% are renting it out. And then the remaining 11% is someone is maintaining the lawn, maintaining the home while they are away. Do you have a home base to go to? 32% say yes, and 68% say no. Now, if you watch any of these other popular RV channels, like the KYD or the Changing Lanes, Less Junk, More Journey, you're going to see that what was full-time has turned into a home base, or now they have a home to go back to. So what was full-time for some of these folks are now leaning towards a destination to go back to. And that's kind of where I think RV Wagon Tales will be once we kind of get out of the work life and more into going into mostly travels. We'll still have a home to come back to, and maybe spend the Christmas holidays and New Year's and all that with family and friends. But if you notice, like Mark and Trish from KYD, a few years ago they bought a cabin in Arizona. Okay, Less Junk, More Journey. They have a home base. It's a family home base in Tennessee. And I think, I can't confirm this, but I recall hearing this from Chad and Tara from Changing Lanes, that it looks like they may be looking for a place somewhere in or near the Smoky Mountains. So I think, at least for the channel makers, the full-timers, and at least for the big channels, I think there's going to be a trend to go back to a home base. Is your RV paid for? Well, this is kind of self-explanatory. So yes, it's about 68% yes, 32% no. Are you and or your significant other retired? Well, 67% is no, and I found that very interesting because I would have thought more full-timers would have been retired. But it looks like 24% are retired, and the veteran, which is another option I offered. So the 9% of these were veterans. So basically, 1/3 of the respondents were retired. And are you or your significant other working remotely? So 60% say no, they're not working remotely, which means they're either A, they're employed somewhere locally, and they're just living in their RV. I'm guessing that's probably a seasonal job. And 40% say yes, they are working remotely. So I think those are going to be your travelers who are able to work remotely from their RV and then move about the country as needed. And as a sub question, does your employer support your remote travels? So basically, all of those 40% responded said yes, that their employer supported their ability to work remotely. Do you travel with others? So this was kind of like, do you have a group of friends that you kind of move around with? And the majority, no, they don't. And I suspect that there's meetups, if you will, little personal meetups. They all gather in one location at time to time. But so yeah, 68% no, 32% yes. Okay, do you maintain your own RV? Now, I actually had many sub-questions of this, but it was getting a little complicated, so I just simplified it. So yeah, so a whopping 76% maintain their own RV, 24% do not. Now, I assume those that do not, they're probably like the bigger Class A's, the diesel pushers, where there's a lot more mechanics involved in the maintenance for those things. So do you find it difficult to find places to go? I didn't realize I just used the word find twice in that sentence. Anyway, so a whopping 82% say no, they do not find it difficult to find new places to go. And that's kind of reassuring to me, because one of my concerns when we decide to go, I'll call it most time, is, how will I know where to go next, or am I going to find difficulties going somewhere? So if I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I want to go to, let's just say, I don't know, California, but I can't find any place, right? Then I decide I want to go to Colorado, but I can't find any place. Or I want to go to Utah, can't find any place. So I think this, based on the responses, it looks like that's not an issue. Okay, so how long do you typically stay at a location? The options I gave were 1 week, 1 month, and other. So 27% 1 week, 18% say 1 month, and C is other. Now I believe, I have to go look at the raw results, but I believe these are going to be your seasonal stays. So this is going to be, maybe you're working as a Amazon employee, or you're a camp host or something like that. So this is what I believe the reason that they stay longer than one month or 1 week. And lastly, what time frame do you plan in advance for your stay? So the question is basically, how far out do you plan? Now, I personally like to plan my trips. Usually by this time of the year, I have my whole year planned out, and usually mostly booked or planning to book. So the responses were, had to be a smart aleck. A, planning, what's that? Actually, somebody's, 15% chose that. B is we plan month to month. C, we plan several months in advance. This is the category I would fall into. And then D, 6 months or more. This would be where I would probably be if we were most time RVing. So I hope that this was, informational. If it gave you some insight, please let me know. Leave me some comments. And we hope that you guys have a safe and happy 2022 RV season. All right, so from Denver, Annie, Tina, and myself. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.